Hello everybody and welcome back. So today I'm filming my November roundup. If you aren't familiar with my roundup videos, I gather up all of the new products I brought into my collection over the month and I give you my final thoughts and feelings on them after I was able to try them out for a longer period of time. And I separate them into three categories. First being my favorites, which are the products I see myself using a ton and the ones I recommend the most and that I see people getting along with really well. Then we'll move on to my likes, which are the products I liked but I didn't necessarily love. There's a few things that I feel hesitant about or I want you to know about, but overall I still would recommend them. And then we'll move on to the last category, which contains the products I was disappointed by or I just found unremarkable or just not worth it. So before we get into it, I'd love for you to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to start off with my disappointments again. I kind of like that. Let me know if you enjoy when I started off with my disappointments or my favorites first. I feel like it's fun to end on a positive note, you know? So starting with my disappointments. First being the Laura Mercier Petal Soft Lipstick Crayons. Now there are some really beautiful colors in these, don't get me wrong. I just found them to be way too expensive for the effect that you get. They're like a sheer tinted balm and they feel quite drying, if I'm being honest, of them on my lips, but they feel subpar, like they're just okay. They offer a really nice even tint, but it dries out my lips. It doesn't look like high end and they're $37 each. I'm quite picky when it comes to tinted lip balms because there are so many amazing ones out there, but this one just didn't do everything I wanted them to do. Like it didn't add like a really nice healthy glow to my lips or anything. It just made my lips look stained or tinted, which is fun, but it just wasn't worth it to me. I just quickly swatched a few of them and you can see they offer like a very sheer tint and they don't really wear well because they start off so sheer, so they just fade away. And the other disappointment I had in this section was the Saie concealer. This is the Hydrabeam concealer. I just don't think it was formulated for my skin type. I have an oilier complexion and this just didn't mesh well. I have found that the concealer tends to just lay on top of my skin. It doesn't seem to mesh in or look flattering on me. It just looks like I'm wearing concealer and it does crease a ton. So that one just did not work out for me in the slightest. I feel like it would work better for people with dry under eyes or maybe even more mature skin. I only had two disappointments. Now let's move into my liked section. So I want to start off with the Gucci blush. Now I initially wanted to put this into my loves, but honestly it's not like entirely worth it for me. I'm really happy I was able to get a discount on it. I bought this during the VIB sale, so I was able to get 20% off. I don't think I would have purchased this full price. It feels pretty average for a powder blush. You're definitely paying for the really cute packaging and of course the branding. I do love this color. This is the blush I'm wearing today. It's stunning. It's one of my favorite colors of blush to go in with. Here is a nice swatch of this Gucci Beauty blush. I have the shade 06 Warm Berry. This is what inspired my fully monochromatic look from shirt to everything. I'm going to use this a ton. The formula is really nice. It's really pigmented, but it's not like overly pigmented, so you're not overwhelmed by adding too much or anything like that. It's pretty manageable to use. It's a great formula. I just find that it's quite comparable to many other blushes out there. Don't get me wrong. I love this, but yeah, it's not completely worth it. Moving on, I have an eyeshadow palette. So I had a couple weird experiences with this, but overall I do enjoy this palette. I really like the inclusion of the two cream shades over here. I think that adds more versatility to a palette, just like the Patrick Ta one that I adore. You can create like an eyeliner or use them as a base to enhance the shimmers. It's really fun to play around with and create. I adore the matte shades in here. I think they are really nice and easy to work with. I'm just not very drawn to all of the shimmers in here. The colors aren't my favorite. I don't really gravitate towards these kind of shimmers. So it does kind of cut this palette in half for me if I'm just using the mattes and the creams. But of course, that is just me speaking on my personal preference. If you love every color in here and you see yourself wearing all of these shimmers, I think you would find this palette to be very worth it for you. I am going to keep it around. I really enjoy how there's these really nice toasty warm shades as well as these really nice rich cool tones in here. I think it's a really fun palette to play around with and experiment, and the quality is good. I just don't love every single color in here. And another thing that I find that's missing for me is like a light bone shade or like a lighter shade that you can kind of lighten up some of the other colors to create more tones and hues. And there's also like nothing to highlight your inner corner with. You'd have to dip into another palette, which I've done plenty of times when I've been working with this Empowered palette from Huda Beauty. I'll go ahead and swatch some of these shadows in here. So these are some of the shimmers. They're gorgeous. When looking at them, I just don't really wear these tones on my eyes. Let's swatch some of the mattes now. So there's a couple of the mattes. Following up, I have these Nars Powermatte lipsticks. Now this formula is really good. It's matte. I wouldn't say it's completely transfer proof. I find that it does have a little bit of transferring. The colors are really nice. The consistency is really beautiful as well. I just don't find myself really reaching for them. They do wear extremely long. I will give it that. I think the formula is awesome. And if you're looking for a matte product, I think you'd really enjoy these. I'm not gravitating towards this finish, I guess. And I think I disappointed myself because I had a different expectation from these. I was hoping that these were more similar to the matte tinted lip balms from Nars, but they're not. They're like a liquid lipstick in a bullet lipstick. Another quality I like about these is that you can wear them quite sheer. It takes a few swipes to build it up, which I personally enjoy because you can kind of adjust the look of your lips every day. So you can either wear it full on like that or like a sheer tint. So that's quite admirable. And the last product in my liked section is this Freck Makeout Club Soft Blur lipstick. I feel like I have so many lipsticks similar to this these days. This is the shade I'm wearing on my lips today with a little bit of a gloss on top. Now this formula is very similar to the Nars Soft Matte Tinted Lip Balms or the Glossier Generation G's. I'll give it a quick swatch next to both formulas here. So this is the shade Baddie from Freck, and then here is Leo from Glossier. See, like it has the exact same texture. And then here is Whiplash from Nars. Nars is just maybe a little bit more glowy, but not by much. My thing with this is, although I wanted more colors in both of these products, this one is really similar to shades I already have, so I don't really gravitate towards this one. I always go towards the ones I already know and love, so this one has gotten a little bit forgotten, but that's just this one shade Baddie. They do have 3 other colors, which are intriguing. That's the only reason why I don't really reach for them. It feels like a same but different brand type product, but I'm happy to have it nonetheless, which is nice to know, just in case if you want to support Freck instead of the other 2 brands or whatever your personal decisions are. Now let's dive into my favorites. I think my most favorite thing of the month are my Urban Decay Moondust eyeshadows, and I kept this looking matte just so I could apply it to my eyes today for you. I'm going to go in with the shade Space Cowboy. This is the funnest thing to layer on top of your eye looks. I've been doing it so much recently. Like even at the end of the day, I'll just put a little bit on to experience the pixie dust magic. I'll bring you in just a little bit so you can see. Again, I'm using Space Cowboy. I sometimes add it with a brush or my finger, but here's what it looks like on my fingertip. And here we go, are you ready? Seatbelts on. It is magical, and it adheres to your lid so well without having to use like setting spray or whatnot. Since they kind of repackaged them, the formula is so much better than what I remembered them in like the old silver packaging. They used to feel a lot drier. These have like a stick to them, really beautiful. And the other shade I have is Cosmic, which is perfect for wintertime if you want to have like a little snowy effect. Why not add it to the center? Are you seeing this sparkle? Incredible. Moving on, I have another eyeshadow palette. This is the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes eyeshadow palette. Now, I am thrilled with this. I've been using this pretty much every single day. Full on obsessed with it. The formula in here is very similar to the Moondust eyeshadows, but of course you get like a full palette. So I was so excited to see when he launched this because these are like my everyday colors I go into. So I have like a nice perfect crease color, some nice warmer shades, and these beautiful topper eyeshadows. This palette is named perfectly. It truly makes your eyes look ethereal. And the matte formula is incredible. If you're familiar with the Master Mattes, it's the exact same formula in here. So this quickly became a favorite. Following up with that, I have the Merit Mascara. Now, I wasn't sure about this one in the beginning, but I've really learned to love it. It is a tubing mascara, which I do enjoy quite a bit because they hardly ever smudge, and it's really satisfying to take off at the end of the day. You just need a little bit of water and you go like this, or you can just pull off these satisfying little tubes. It's a really quick removal, but it lasts really well, and this is a really fun everyday mascara. It gives your lashes a really fluffy, lengthened, subtly volumized near the root look. And most tubing mascaras come with like one of those silicone plasticky wands, but this one's like a classic mascara wand, like the fluffy kind. So it just fluffs in your lashes. It creates a really lightweight feeling in them, and it keeps the curl in your lashes because it's such a lightweight mascara. This felt like a really quick roundup, but last two products are highlighters. Since when do I have two favorite highlighters in a roundup? I don't know. The first one is another Merit product. Now this one took a little getting used to as well. If you don't like a glossy, balmy highlight, stay away from this one. I don't think you'll enjoy it, but it is quite intense. Like, it has a good amount of pearlescence in it. It feels super silky, and it doesn't feel tacky at all. It feels more, I would say, like oily if I had to, but it does set down a little bit. But this highlighter, when it's on my cheeks, it doesn't attract my hair. So we're golden on that. I feel like this has filled a void for me for like a balmy stick highlighter since I've stopped using like my Glossier one, or when I stopped supporting nude sticks. I felt like I was missing something like this, and I'm happy it's here. And the other highlighter is the Saie High Glow in Ref Rose. I know this is a limited edition one. It is a really pretty color. I wasn't sure about it at first, but it has like this kind of magic pearlescence that's see-through, and it has a very see-through base. So this is what it looks like fully applied. You can see already it has such a translucent effect to it. So when it's actually blended out on your cheeks, it's completely invisible, but it adds the most gorgeous, like sweaty glow, like a good sweaty glow, like a gym glow. And it's nice and warm, so it adds a little bit of warmth without actually looking like a tint. Very flattering. These are both kind of similar textures in a lot of ways, but just one's liquid and one's stick. I wouldn't say that you needed both, whatever one you're leaning more towards. You actually don't need any of them, but I appreciate you watching. But there we have it. There is my November roundup. I didn't really try out that much this month, but this was a fun little quickie. I'll make sure to link everything in the description down below, so feel free to check that out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!